Niners, baby, get the dramatic dub down in Tampa, 23-20. Let's talk about it. First of all, Jake Moody sucks. I think it's more than just a bad day at the office. This is just who he is at the core, and I'm not a fan of it. Even the field goals that he made, they barely went in. They were all going off to the right, and can we not do better than that? Also, the punt return where we muffed it, where Darrell Luter got pushed back into Cowing, I didn't realize that wasn't a penalty. Like, why aren't teams just strategizing to push the blocker back into the kick returner every single time? I thought there was space to, not have that happen. Little did I realize. Nevertheless, our special teams, just as a whole unit, has been questionable all year long. And today, it reared its ugly head again. Cowing did have a pretty good return late in the game. I like Jacob Cowing. I think he's going to be a really good piece for us. Overall, we got the dub, and that's all that matters. The Bucs never went away, and we had a hard time closing them out. McCaffrey, in his return, had 39 yards rushing. Not exactly great, only 3 yards per carry. It made me wonder why we're not using Jordan Mason more. Jordan Mason literally had 1 carry for 5 yards. I understand that you don't want to use McCaffrey too much too soon, but we have the 4th leading rusher in the league right there. Just give him 5, 6, 7 carries, because there were times where it looked like we were forcing the pass. And mind you, Brock had a really good game today. 25 of 36 for 353 yards and 2 tutties, no interceptions. He also ran 17 yards. So clearly the pass game was working, but there was just times where it looked and felt forced. We were 5 of 11 on 3rd down efficiency, so it's still not as good as it could and should be. We were only 1 of 3 of red zone attempts of getting literally any points. That's not good. The one time we got down into the red zone, they literally took McCaffrey out of the game and then proceeded to get down into the next time, run the ball once, and then pass on the next 2 plays, and then that sets up a Jake Moody missed field goal. So I'm just thinking, what is this play calling? Once we got into the red zone, it's like Kyle Shanahan's brain just shut off. Moody's brain definitely shut off because he couldn't kick the ball. And I'm just sitting here thinking, the Bucs are loving this because we are keeping them around. It was a 3-point game that came down to the final play of the game, and it shouldn't have been that way if you actually look at the stats. We practically doubled them up in yards. We had 413 total yards to their 215. We won the time of possession. Sadly, we had more penalties, because on that final Bucs drive, there was 3, if not 4 penalties that we committed right there. Now, the Bucs did not give up. Baker Mayfield is a dog. He didn't have a good game today, but that final drive, he kept them in it. Can't take anything away from Baker, because we were in his face all day long, and he put his team in a position to win the game. Bucky Irving ran hard, 73 yards for a touchdown. Thank God the Bucs receiving core was completely depleted, because there was just times where they were just tearing our defense apart. And really, it was just attacking where Devondre Campbell is/was. Or supposed to be. When it comes to the Niners receiving core, I literally love this right now. I wish Ayuk was in there, but Juwan Jennings can be a starting guy, the guy, if not a very solid number 2 option in any system around the league. Today, when he had to step up and be the man, he was. 7 receptions for 93 yards. He made some great plays. Ricky Pearsall had his first ever NFL touchdown. 4 receptions for 73 yards. And McCaffrey had 68 receiving yards. That beautiful wheel route as Brock's off his back foot with defenders in his face getting hit. And he had to throw a perfect ball, anticipating to where McCaffrey was going to be, hit him in stride. Thing of beauty. Debo had 62 yards today and 5 catches. Kittle had 3 catches for 57 yards and another touchdown. He's 2nd in the league in touchdowns this year. Phenomenal stuff. Our whole receiving core contributed. Fred Warner led us in tackles. Shocking stuff, I know. Our rookie D-tackle, Evan Anderson, I really like him, and I think there's big things on the way for him. He's really good. Malik Collins, he had a sack and a TFL today. Bosa ended up getting a sack near the end of the day, even though all day long it seemed like he was gassed and just in his head, but he got home there in the 4th quarter. And made his presence felt. But for real, Jake Moody is trash. Mitch Wishnowsky is also just not having a good year punting the ball either. Our offensive line still shows up in times where just they just blow blocking schemes. They allow pressure through from the inside. And I'm like, if you are an offensive lineman, no matter what, blocking inside out has to be a thing. And if you are a supporting running back, blocking. Isaac Guerrero, I'm talking to you. You have to block inside out. There was moments in this game where I was like, wow, Brock has all day. But there were more moments in this game where Brock didn't have a moment to breathe at all. And he was running for his life, and there was pressure in his face, and he was getting hit as he's throwing. Immediately, because the offensive line just was like, ugh. Like, even Trent Williams had moments like that today, and I'm like, is the stupidness just like going through all of their brains? Because normally it's Trent and Pooney, and everybody else is kind of, I don't know. Today, the pressure was all over the place. I swear Pooney had a good game. From what I saw, it looked like Dominic Pooney had a pretty good game, but I need to watch it back and really evaluate this. But Colton McKivitz, Jake Brendel, Aaron Banks, Trent Williams for sure in times just was like, are we going to block for you, Brock? Nope. Crazy. But I'm not shocked about that because I've talked about that for weeks. Our offensive line isn't a great unit. It's just not. So it's incredible that Brock can still throw for 353 yards and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions and have a very subpar offensive line. See, the people that don't watch 49ers games and they just watch the box scores and they just watch the analysts and the Nick Wrights of the world and people like that, they don't understand that the Niners don't have a good offensive line. So when they put up the numbers that they put up and do what they do, it's built on a slippery foundation because normally you need a pretty good offensive line to be pretty daggone good. But I'm telling you what, reality is kind of catching up to them, and that's a big reason why games are closer than what they need to be at times. It's probably a big reason why Kyle Shanahan's play calling is different at times, and he doesn't trust certain plays that he's probably trusted before, because I'm telling you, the line play is inconsistent at best. But I can tell you what is consistent. Brock Purdy to George Kittle all day long, all day, all night. It's fantastic. It'll be great to see McCaffrey get his wheels back under him and get into the flow of things with the NFL game and taking these hits and finding those holes and just getting that chemistry back with everybody, because averaging 3 yards a carry, that's not McCaffrey. He's so much better than that, and he'll prove that. Still, we have Jordan Mason. Get him involved, Kyle. That's the game. I hope y'all have an amazing day. Comment down below if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to talk football. Niners win 23-20, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Next week is a home game versus the Seattle River Chickens. Can't wait.